All right, well, I understand we have White House Deputy Press Secretary Hogan Gidley from the White House now. Hogan, thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for the time.
Hogan, so we're just talking about this. What's next? I mean, this was a losing position for the United States to be in from the get-go. Where does President Trump take it from here?
Well, the president was clear in the address he just gave to the nation when he said it's all about sanctions at this point. I mean, look, this deal was bad on the front end. Everyone knows that. It did not do anything to prevent Iran's pathway to a nuclear weapon. It paved it. It made it much easier for the world's largest state sponsor of terror to do just that, obtain a nuclear weapon. And this president said no more. I told you guys this was a horrible deal, and unless it can be renegotiated, I'm getting out. That's exactly what we saw just now. He's standing up for the American people, and he's also standing up for our partners and allies across the world, Israel being one of those. You'll remember Prime Minister Netanyahu, I'm sure you guys covered that extensively a few days ago, explaining just how Iran had lied to the world. This president said we're not going to be lied to, and I've got to protect this nation. So he did that today by pulling out of this deal, imposing immediate sanctions on anyone who deals with Iran. And I don't have too much more to add because I'm not going to telegraph where he goes from here. But at this point, he made a big, bold decision to protect this country.
Hogan, you were mentioning Israel. I am curious how much you're concerned, how much this administration specifically is concerned about Israel having a target, even more of a target on its back. Because, yeah, we know they have a target on their back, but this seems to ramp it up quite a bit. What's the comeback to that concern and criticism?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, look, Iran hates Israel for being Israel in the first place. It doesn't have anything to do with the United States. Iran hates the United States for being the United States. I mean, the president said, I've got the speech right here, but he made the point that we're not going to, and we will not allow a regime that chants death to America to gain access to the most deadly weapons on earth. They hate America. They want death and destruction in America. It has nothing to do necessarily with our partners and allies. It just has to do with the fact that we are who we are. The same applies to Israel. But we can say, as you guys are well aware, this president stands in lockstep, in concert with Prime Minister Netanyahu and the people of Israel. We're actually going over there to move an embassy soon as well. So there are a lot of things moving as it relates to our friendship and partnership with Israel, and that will only be stronger, I'm sure, after this.
Hogan, we're just getting some, what else is new? Breaking news on Twitter. The Crown Prince Saudi Arabia coming out with a tweet saying, basically supporting what the president's doing. He says any future deal must address Iran's ballistic missile program and its increasing financial military support for terrorism. What's the reaction specifically? I mean, to have Saudi Arabia saying this, that seems like a significant development.
Well, you remember, David, when this president took the oath of office, so many people around this country said that he would send our partners and allies into a frenzy, he would terrify them, he would push them all away, he would ruin partnerships, he would destroy any relationships we've had over decades. And instead, the opposite has happened, because what you have in President Donald Trump is someone who will stand up for the American people, stand by our partners and allies. He looks them in the eye, has serious, sincere conversations. They make deals, they make partnerships, and he stands with them. We are now respected. We are feared, and quite frankly, a lot of folks love us across this globe as well because of actions just like this. He's calling out bad actors for what they are, being bad actors, and he's standing against evil, standing against terrorism. And this deal, pulling out of it, is a prime example of that.
Hogan, this president, of course, is known for the art of the deal. Do you think there's the possibility for renegotiation here?
He left some window in there because he wants the deal to protect the American people. That's the job of the president, first and foremost, is to make sure the people of this country are protected. This deal did not do that. Obviously, it opened the door for Iran to continue its efforts to have a nuclear weapon. So many people said that, and Iran actually said publicly that their nuclear program was only for civilian use. It's not. It's proven now because of the documents obtained by the Israelis that it's for military use. That was a lie. And so, look, moving forward, the president can negotiate a better deal, but it remains to be seen who all is going to come to the table. You can't get ahead of what the decisions other countries will make, or quite frankly, I'm not going to get ahead of what this president is going to make. He's always up for making new deals, but the deals have to be good for the American people. They have to make us safer, and they have to protect our partners and allies. And until we see a deal like that on the table, the president is fine right where he is.
Hogan, there are a lot of folks that believe that Iran was living up to this deal. I mean, to a degree. The enrichment of uranium, the plutonium plant in Iran as well. So there are quite a few different elements. So what's the reaction to that? Because they seemed like they were at least living up to quite a bit that was in this deal.
Right, they weren't. Look, to say this deal was protecting this country is complete fallacy. The president pointed that out in the speech just now, his delivery to the nation. Everyone knows that this deal was based on a lie. And now we've seen when Prime Minister Netanyahu came out and delivered his address, we had those documents, we reviewed those documents, we obviously agree with the Prime Minister that where Iran is in its nuclear capabilities is much further along than they told the world community before, which means when this sunsets out, they can begin making steps toward a nuclear weapon at a much faster pace because they're much further along than anyone ever thought they'd be. So to pretend as though this deal kept the world safe is just ridiculous on its face.
Yeah, but Hogan, let me just follow up on that. I mean, you're saying that they have not complied with any of these rules at all? Because enriching uranium, apparently they have taken that down to the certain levels, and that's part of the agreement.
Well, look, you're also presupposing this country that's already been proven to be a liar and not tell the truth to the global community, that what they're saying and telling you now is truthful. Look, even the inspectors have to tell Iran a long time before they actually see what they're doing when they're actually coming. It's almost like that mayor who tips off illegal aliens when the cops are going to do a raid on their location. When you tell the inspectors, come on in, and we give a couple of days for Iran to get their house in order and hide all the evidence, it makes the inspection just completely worthless. So I think to pretend as though this plan was being followed to the T is absolutely false.
Hogan, the AP is reporting that the French president, France, Britain, and Germany regret Trump's decision to quit the Iran nuclear deal. Your reaction?
I've not seen that. Look, the president has already spoken to Macron today. He has a good partnership, obviously, with Merkel as well, and the United Kingdom, who was here yesterday, too. So he has a great relationship with those countries who are some of our strongest allies across the world. But that doesn't mean they agree on everything. This was a move this president made to put America first and protect America first. And quite frankly, he believes this protects those nations as well. So moving forward, when the president puts sanctions on Iran, and the biggest sanctions in history, quite frankly, that we expect other countries to adhere to that, and we'll sanction them if they don't.
Hogan Gidley from the White House. Hogan, always a pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Thanks so much for the time, guys.
All right.